We've not got involved with politics or religion.
Yeah, but this is on the home front. And also, back in the presidential election, I was in such a horrendous place that I wasn't going to pop my head out of the sand for anything.
Why would you? I mean, does Bob Hope do it? Did Bing Crosby do it? Does Mick Jagger do it?
Come on.
No, what I'm saying right now is
Bob Hope and
First
Bing
of all,
Crosby.
these aren't your dad's celebrities and these aren't your dad's Republicans.
Imagine if we came to you and said, hey, we've got this idea that we could halve the number of people that come to you next tour.
And the other thing, just from a security
So you
standpoint,
think people-
Taylor Swift comes out against Trump.
I don't care if they write that. I'm sad that I didn't 2 years ago, but I can't change that. I'm saying right now that this is something that I know is right, and you guys, I need to be on the right side of history. And if he doesn't win, then at least I tried.
Taylor, here's the problem.
I just want to read you what I wrote, and I'm going to try to start. I just really want you to know that this is important to me.
I
and this
totally
is something that,
agree with the issue, but
have
let
you
me explain
heard
to you.
her? Have you just heard
Yes,
it?
I've read the entire thing, and the bottom line right now, I'm terrified. I'm the guy that went out and bought armored cars.
I worry for her safety as much as anybody does. Maybe more.
It really is a big deal to me. She votes against fair pay for women. She votes against the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act, which is just basically protecting us from domestic abuse and stalking. She thinks that if you're a gay couple, or even if you look like a gay couple, you should be allowed to be kicked out of a restaurant. It's really basic human rights, and it's right and wrong at this point, and I can't see another commercial and see her disguising these policies behind the words Tennessee Christian values. Those aren't Tennessee Christian values. I live in Tennessee. I am Christian. That's not what we stand for. I need to do this. I need you to I need you to forgive me for doing it, because I'm doing it.
This is Taylor Swift in footage from her 2020 Netflix documentary talking about how she's determined to speak out against Republicans and their extremism, particularly Donald Trump and her home state Senator Marsha Blackburn. Swift later endorsed Blackburn's Democratic opponent in the 2018 Senate race, and then endorsed Joe Biden in the 2020 race against Donald Trump. And let's just say, Marsha Blackburn didn't take too kindly to that.
If we have a socialistic government, if we have Marxism, you are going to be the first ones who will be cut off, because the state would have to approve your music. And, you know, Taylor Swift came after me in my 2018 campaign, but Taylor Swift would be the first victim of that, because when you look at Marxist socialist societies, they do not allow women to dress or sing or be on stage or to entertain or the type music that she would have. They don't allow protection of private intellectual property rights.
Ah, yes, it's the Democrats who are famously against women's rights. Surely it's not the party that's actively stripping away women's bodily autonomy or forcing them to give birth even in cases of rape or incest, or voting against reauthorizing the Violence Against Women Act. Hell, Missouri Republicans recently passed a new rule in the legislature banning female lawmakers from wearing attire that exposes their arms. But thank God we've got Republicans to defend the rights of women. Phew. In fact, here's Lauren Boebert, one of Marsha's own colleagues in Congress, saying that women are the lesser vessel and need men to balance that weakness.
We are created equal. We're not the same. Women are the lesser vessel, and we need masculinity in our lives to balance that that so-called weakness. You know, just us being more frail and needing that strength in our life.
And it's not just Boebert. Marsha Blackburn's Senate colleague, J.D. Vance, said that women should stay in violent marriages for the sake of their kids and called rape inconvenient. Another one of her Senate colleagues, James Lankford, blocked an attempt by Democrats to ban states from outlawing women traveling to another state to get an abortion. Lankford's previously testified that he thinks 13-year-old girls can consent to sex. And this guy, Congressman Billy Long, blames women having the right to control their bodies on what's causing mass shootings in America.
When I was growing up in Springfield, you had 1 or 2 murders a year. Now we have 2, 3, 4 a week in Springfield, Missouri. So something has happened to our society, and I go back to abortion when we decided it was okay to murder kids in their mother's wombs. life has no value to a lot of these folks.
And this is just a small handful of the elected ones. A Republican candidate for Congress in 2022 said that women should have to stand before a death panel that would decide whether or not they can get an abortion to save their life. And another candidate said that America has suffered from giving women the right to vote. He founded an anti-woman organization that said that women do not possess the characteristics necessary to govern. He then lost the election to a woman. All of which is to say, if Marcia is claiming that it's somehow Democrats, the party that's trying to codify Roe versus Wade and reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act, who are trying to take away Taylor Swift's rights, that is a level of projection that is almost impossible to comprehend for those of us with a sense of shame. But all in all, hats off to Taylor Swift for taking a stand and not listening to those around her who were telling her to just play it safe and stay quiet. What's clear is that this is a moment where our democracy and our rights are at stake. And so the idea that we can just ignore the problems posed by MAGA extremism is naive at best and outright dangerous at worst. You're either on the side of doing what's right or you're helping those who we're fighting against. Now, while the Democrat that Taylor Swift endorsed in 2018 against Marsha Blackburn didn't win in deep red Tennessee, he vastly outperformed how well Democrats normally do statewide. And Swift brought attention to the importance of voting nationwide. In fact, her Instagram post announcing her endorsement caused a massive spike in nationwide Gen Z voter registration. Here's how Trump reacted to the news.
Taylor Swift now that she's in politics. Taylor Swift jumping into politics. What do you have to say to her? And what did she say? She said she wants people to vote for Democrats.
Phil Bredesen over Blackburn.
Not Marsha Blackburn, especially.
You know, well, Marsha Blackburn is doing a very good job in Tennessee. She's leading now substantially, which she should. She's a tremendous woman. I'm sure Taylor Swift has nothing or doesn't know anything about her. And let's say that I like Taylor's music about 25% less now, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, I can only imagine how devastated Taylor must be that the now twice impeached, 34-time indicted criminal and raging lunatic doesn't like her music anymore. I'm sure she'll have to cope with that news while performing in front of her sold-out stadium shows every weekend that are so popular they cause Ticketmaster to literally crash. But in all seriousness, we need more celebrities and more influencers and more public figures to show the type of energy that Taylor Swift showed in this clip. Because while those who are watching this video know about the craziness that's going on in Congress and in states across the country, not everyone is paying attention. And we've got to reach people where they otherwise wouldn't hear about how important voting is. And it's not just voting for the sake of voting. As Taylor Swift said, it is about people's rights and freedoms in our democracy. And this is especially important for Gen Z voters who are now the direct targets of Republican efforts to suppress votes, as admitted by a top Republican legal operative at the Republican donor tree just a couple of weeks ago, who was caught on tape saying that Gen Z voting is a big problem and then urging them to combat Gen Z's voting rights.
So we need to be looking at what are these college campus locations in polling. What is this young people effort that they do? They basically put the polling place next to the student dorms, so they just had to roll out of bed, vote, and go back to bed. And we need to build strong election integrity task forces in those counties. Wisconsin is a big problem because of the polling locations on college campuses. There are 501c3s. Their goal for the Supreme Court race was to turn out 240,000 college students in that Supreme Court race. And we don't have anything like that, and we need to figure out how to do that and how to combat that.
So I hope that young people can see full well your right to vote is under attack. We all need to pay attention and turn out like our democracy is at stake, because it is. Before you go, I need your help. I'm right on the cusp of hitting 2 million subscribers, so please help me grow this channel so the progressive media ecosystem grows by hitting the subscribe button right here on the screen. I also started a Spanish channel so we can finally start regaining some of that lost ground among Spanish speakers, so if you want to help support those efforts, you can hit that subscribe button. And finally, if you listen to podcasts and you want to support mine, you'll find a link to that on the screen as well. Thanks so much for watching.